All set? Yep. You guys all right?
Come on.
Ready?
Yeah.
Open and transparent government, ethics and accountability. These good ideas have become buzzwords, and sometimes their real meaning and intent get lost in campaign rhetoric. But they mean something to me, and they mean something to Albany residents. It's time to take real and definite action to change the way our government operates. For the better part of a century, Albany city government has been synonymous with machine politics, where service is a favor for those demonstrating political or personal loyalty. And in recent months, we have been numbed by story after story of the special favors given to the well-connected. It's time for those practices to end. To do that, we need to change the way Albany government operates. We need to ensure that there are adequate checks and balances in city government. We need an ethics standard that is unambiguous and written into law. And we need to make city spending open and available for public viewing. First, checks and balances. It's one of the first principles we learn as school children, that all government power is subject to the checks of another office, another branch, and that too much authority concentrated in one office is bad for government. As long as I have served in public office, I have advocated for the kind of charter reform that actually accounts for checks and balances. I will continue to work for that kind of change as mayor. That means requiring the Common Council to review contracts. That means doing away with the Board of Estimate and Apportionment. And it means presenting the council with a budget that clearly delineates how we are spending money, what has changed from previous years, and where we expect to be in the future. Most importantly, it means a year-long budget season, one that openly engages elected officials and Albany residents in an ongoing review of how taxpayer dollars are used.
There you go. Yes, there you go. All right.
Too often, there is a blurring of relationships in city government. A look through campaign contributions will find many who hold city contracts. Parking enforcement personnel are trained to recognize exempt stickers issued outside of city authority. Every year, city employees flood the streets gathering signatures on political petitions. We need to put a stop to the pay-to-play atmosphere in our city.
All right. All right. We're not Chicago.
And we'll do that by enacting a clear and distinct ethics law. An ethics law that will bar city officials from accepting personal gifts or favors of any kind from people doing business with the city. And that will include dinners, drinks, and even rounds of golf.
All right.
A law that will require businesses and individuals doing business with the city to disclose campaign contributions to city campaigns or to their political action committees. One that will prevent city officials from soliciting both campaign workers and campaign contributions from city employees.
All right.
Finally, we'll establish an ethics commission responsible for investigating and making recommendations about violations to the ethics code. I'm in the process of developing legislation that will include those components, and I will encourage the council to consider and enact it before this election season gets underway. In 2009, when even preschoolers have their own websites, the city's web presence is inadequate. Information about how to access city services is difficult to find, buried deeply into the secondary pages if it's there at all. While press releases are usually current, minutes from meetings are often months out of date, and simple information like what day do I put my trash out isn't even on there. That has to change. In fact, the website is the vehicle through which government can become truly transparent. Here is just a beginning of the type of information that should be open and available to Albany residents. A searchable budget document and a database of contracts. Who holds the contracts? How much does it cost? How long does it last? And does the holder of the contract make political contributions to city officials? Vacant positions in the city. And how to go about applying for vacant positions. The availability of positions on boards and commissions. What's the appointment process? And how do you apply for consideration? The meeting schedule of the mayor and key department heads. If we're going to do away with backroom dealing, then city officials have to be open about who it is they're dealing with. As parents, my husband and I had a general policy with our teenagers of trust but verify, not unlike nuclear disarmament. It's the same relationship citizens should have with their government. Checks and balances, ethics laws, and an easy and accessible method of examining government will give our citizens the ability to verify whether their city officials have earned their trust. Albany taxpayers pay a high price for government, and there's a lot we have to do to make it more affordable, to lower the cost, and to make it easier to live in our city. But first and foremost, our citizens must have the confidence that their government works for them. So let's get the ball rolling on that.